Man, JQ come on right on time, man.
Listen,
he not early. He on time, man.
We on time.
He slid right in there. Wow.
We on time. We on time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got the family with him.
Yeah, the family's in Orlando, so it's me and her for the next 3 to 4 days. For the next 4 days.
Wow. No wife, no daughters?
I'm puppy sitting. We're on spring break, so they went to Orlando, and I am here with her. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. Don't party too hard, man.
No. A lot of me and her.
You got no party going on in another room in there, do you?
No, not tonight.
Not tonight. Tomorrow's a different story.
Maybe on Friday.
Oh boy.
What's the pup's name, JQ?
Coco.
Coco, nice. Oh,
all right, Coco Golf.
She a daddy's pup? Is that what it is?
Getting there. Thank you.
Cincinnati Reds 7-3. I don't know if they played tonight.
They did. They came back in the ninth inning and forced extras and won 6-3 in Miami.
So they're 8-3 now, then. Huh?
Playing good ball. 1-5 in a row.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious, man.
They're in my top 5 right now.
Man, we got a lot of things to talk about, gentlemen. I know we're coming in hot. We have a lot of things to recap, a lot of things to discuss. We already know where certain people are not going to talk about certain things, but that's okay. Again, we are looking forward to another awesome night of Talking Sports 12, man. Let's go around the horn, check in with fellows. Unfortunately, I can't stay like 2 hours. There's going to have to be a quicker show, but, again. What's going on, JQ? How you feeling this evening, sir?
Oh, listen, me and you both, because she's going to wake me up in the middle of the night to have to go outside. So I'm probably going to go to about midnight, but I'm good, man. Like I said, family out of town, so me and the pup getting some one-on-one time. A Reds playing good ball, and the Penguins playing good hockey. I'm excited about it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Rob Ford. Sidney Crosby playing well.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Yeah. Well, we got Rob Ford. How you feeling? T-Bob.
Man, doing great, man. Literally just about 20, 30 minutes ago, just had some asparagus. So we feeling good, man. Asparagus for me is like spinach for Popeye.
Oh my God.
Clearly.
I promise, man. Pray for him, America. Gary, how you feel this evening, sir?
I'm fine. I always have to go after asparagus, That's a tough one for me.
Next week you go second, Gary. Well, actually, next week, Gary, you'll start us off.
I wanted to start promoting Brussels sprouts, but I don't know if I can compete.
Asparagus less calories than Brussels sprouts.
Oh
gosh. So Gary,
exactly.
It's gonna be like you're gonna have to be at the court just ignore like Don Staley, just ignore Rob at the for the just ignore him. Be like, what? Did you not hear asparagus? We'll have you go first next week, Gary.
You ain't meet the protocol before the game, shaking my hand at half court.
I don't think he would have had an issue with that if he'd have won.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
I would have slapped. I would have been.
Exactly. Last year when they won by 23 points, he was hugging all on Don Staley.
Yeah. As soon as you try to send it, I would have like, I would have did all that when you try to shake my hand.
It started with that end of the third quarter interview.
Yeah. Yep.
He was wild.
He was tripping. He knew he was getting his ass whooped. That's all it was.
Yep.
He's probably thinking, how do I figure out a way to get out of this?
Pretty much.
Man. Well, gentlemen, let's get this party started really quickly. You know how to follow us. We are on Twitter, X. We're on Facebook. We are also on YouTube. The Cross is all that fun stuff too. So we had a pretty quick night, but I know the topics talk about recapping last night's game. I'm sure Jakey has nothing to add to that. But Rob Ford, you want to recap this, and Gary, you'll kind of jump into as well. And there you go. Have some fun.
Well, I mean, it was a physical game. Neither team really shot the ball well, but I think Connecticut had to muddy the game up to even have a chance to stay close in the game. Otherwise, Michigan would have ran them out of the building. But yeah, neither team really shot the ball. But congratulations to Michigan. I mean, Yaxel Lindenberg, that dude is like 4.5 years older than Cooper Flagg. So they got an old team with some veterans on the team. And all 5 starters are transfers, right?
Yeah,
Watching that game,
that.
One of the things that kind of pissed me off in watching that game is watching how well Elliot Cadeau played, the point guard from Michigan. And he transferred from North Carolina. Hubert Davis gave up on him. I kind of been on the fence of whether or not North Carolina should have fired Hubert Davis. But after watching that game, it made me think, yeah, I guess it was time to fire Hubert Davis. After watching Elliot Cadeau win the most outstanding player of the game, 5-star recruit out of high school, and Hubert Davis let him transfer to Michigan.
A lot of love. Hey, Richard, good to see you. Mars, good to see you as well. Look at that. Oregon State 18.
Hey, Mars, hopefully you're feeling well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're praying for you. We're
praying for everyone. All the guys.
Richard coming in hot, talking about Oregon State beating up on USC.
I know he's already ready. Oh man, I love it.
What sport was it, in football or what?
Baseball, man.
Already talking like college baseball.
I don't think Oregon State could beat USC in football right now.
Maybe in spring practice.
Hey,
spring practice.
We know what they can do in baseball, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anything you want to add to that, Gary?
No. I'm glad that Hurley was decent about things and said the opposing team was talented and well coached, and they played a good game. And that's the way it should be. After your team gives it their all and you come up short, show some
decorum.
Yeah.
Show some dignity.
Yeah.
I thought Connecticut was undermatched in that game, but I thought they competed. And like I said, they muddied the game up. They made the game ugly, and so they can stay in the game. They made the game physical. And but I think Michigan for sure, and Yaxel Lindenberg wasn't 100% in that game for Michigan. He fought, maybe played that game at 70%. And but like I said, they were still able to kind of persevere and win that game.
There it is. Good stuff. Appreciate that. Like I said, just again, were the Huskies? They were kind of their quest for a three-peat too, so that kind of got ended too. So we'll see how that plays.
3 out of 4 years, yeah. That's the first time Connecticut has lost a national championship game.
Yeah, so that was
they were
interesting.
6-0 in national championship games.
Yes, they were. So that was a big win for Michigan. And the crazy thing, I'm going to add my last little part to that because Robbie talked about how old the team was, right? It's such a unique contrast from like the Fab Five, right? I know Jake wants to hear none of this, but there was a documentary on the Fab Five and just kind of how we went from one extreme to these talented freshmen to where we are right now to having these older players that are like 25, 26 older than Cooper Flagg, so
yeah. And what's interesting, Andre, you make a good point there. Let's just think about the 3 major college sports so far this year. I mean, I know college baseball is going on right now. Indiana won the national championship of football, older team. UCLA just won the women's championship, all seniors.
All seniors, yep. Mm-hmm.
And now it's just Michigan team with all veterans.
Yeah.
And they win the national championship as well. So it says something about this NIL environment keeping a lot of guys.
The new norm.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean that's 3 major championships with all veteran laden rosters.
Yeah. Houston was like that 1.2. They were talking about Houston, they like for the year before they kind of like lost, but they were able to kind of make some hay in the tournament last year. But then, like you said, Rob, this is kind of the nature of where we are. And then, yes, Richard JQ made it back, but he didn't want to hear any talk about Michigan, none of that nonsense too. So that's why he disgraced himself too, man. So it's all good.
Well, no. Listen, I just got back, so I had to take a puppy break, but then I had to take her outside. So I saw her going to the door. You know what that means with a puppy. So I ran behind her to make sure it was the outside trip, not an inside trip I had to clean up.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's got dad puppy duty too.
Yes.
So let's let's set the stage going into next season's kind of early projections, Rob. I mean, as far as the top five, and I'm sure this is definitely super super early because there's been a lot of athletes in the transfer portal, right? So
Yep.
does this adjust, right? Do you look at Duke again? Do you look at Michigan? Repeating, Kansas, Alabama, Arizona, kind of some early heavyweight favorites, if you will, or how does that kind of transition? I mean, I know it's hard to do that prediction, but does it kind of reload? JQ missed the dynamic between the young teams, to now the veteran-laden teams now are making it in all three championships, from Indiana to UCLA to Michigan. We talked about how these veteran-laden teams are now taking the mantle from the young bucks. But you ain't got no experience. Buck up.
Well, you know what though? That we shouldn't be surprised about that, because a lot of times when you get some of these upsets early in the tournament, you go back and you should look at some of those other teams. There were teams that had 3 or 4, juniors and seniors that stayed, and they didn't have the one and dones, but they developed a culture and they stayed. And I know where that dude's going to be in this corner on this block, and they would give young teams problems. And sometimes the young teams just have so much talent. As you move forward, they were able to overcome it. But when you can start to go piggyback off, and say, oh, now I can pay a dude and he don't have to leave, and then I can go get some veteran guys, it starts to show up. And shout out to the Big Ten.
Yes.
Showing up completely out, even though I was 100% rooting hard for UConn, because I was sitting there watching with my homeboy, and then a dude walked in with a damn Michigan hat on. I said, see, this have nice things. I didn't know this dude. I ain't never seen him in this bar. This is my bar.
Well, and if it goes like it's going, where you got these senior teams, these seniors on these teams, and they're so much older now than say in the past, I think you'll see less of these upsets in the earlier rounds of the tournament.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think that's, and that I kind of liked that aspect of it, but I think it'll hopefully it might even be easier to pick. I guess you just pick the teams with the with the most vowels in their name, or
this is 2 years in a row that we didn't have a 13, 14, 15, or 16 seed win a game in a tournament, and that's the first time that's happened 2 years in a row since they expanded to at least 64 teams in '85. So that a lot of these guys from these mid majors now, they're going to go take the money at a bigger school.
And that's the thing. It's like the minor league, right? You got your minor league system. You kind of get there, you get good.
Yeah.
Then you take the money to the next step up, and then, like we talked about, Rob, you nailed it, because you definitely think about certain teams making runs, and then you're like, oh man, even back in the day, whenever I know JQ hates the reference to Arizona, but if you had senior guards, you were able to do some damage. I remember whenever UMass had oh my God, I can't think. I know they had Edgar Padilla, and Marcus Camby back in the day, and they had the 2 senior guards. Like, yo, they got senior guards. This is going to be a tough out. And
those guards, they weren't like NBA prospects. They were just steady college players.
Yeah, like Bennett Sturts, kind of the same way from Iowa.
Yeah.
You've been through the wars. You got like 1,000 assists, and you just know how to play in the system. So I've seen it all. Then you got
so they get these guys that come in. They're 4 years older than some of these guys, so they're strong,
seasoned.
Yes, they're seasoned, and they're physically stronger
developed
than these 18, 19-year-old kids.
Yeah. Every now and then you'll get like an anomaly, like a LeBron, that dude has an NBA body already at age 18. Then you kind of like get the knowledge, go with that. But it's just an interesting thing that we'll recap too. So, anything you want to talk about, guys, for the transfer portal? Anything that you kind of see from that perspective, or what?
I'll talk about the top 5. I know we kind of. I actually got Illinois preseason early. I know, Andre, you talked about the transfer portal, so it's still kind of very early to kind of look at who are going to be the top teams for next season to see how this transfer portal shakes out. But obviously they're going to lose Keaton Wagler, but all of those veteran Eastern Europeans they have on the roster, Stojakovic, Merkovic, Tomislav. I mean that trio is really strong, and all indications are Illinois is going to get them back, and they got some really strong recruits coming in next season too. So I would think Illinois is going to be in the mix. Duke's going to be in the mix because they always getting top recruits. And I mean, they got Bryson Howard and Cameron Williams coming back. I mean, they're probably going to get Caden Boozer. Obviously, Cam Boozer is going to go pro, but Caden Boozer will stay. And
He damn sure is after that.
yeah. So
yeah, I knew that was coming.
I have Duke number 2. I have Michigan State number 3 because it looks like Fears is going to be back and Carr is going to be back. So I have Michigan State 3. I have Arizona 4 for the same. And, Arizona's going to be really interesting. What's Core Pete and Braden Burry's going to do? Because, we talked about this on the last week's show, the week before that. There's so many talented freshmen, and some of them are going to fall for like 10 to 20. That range that's in 10 to 20 come back another year, right? And Core Pete and Braden Burries are in that mix at Arizona. If Arizona gets one of them to come back, I would move them up to number 1. And but even if both of them go pro, which I expect, I'll have Arizona number 4 for the same reasons. They got big time recruits coming next year, and they have the Eastern European mix too on the team with Kravas and Karchinkovov in that mix on the team. So they got a lot of size there. And then number 5, I'll have Alabama, even though they're going to lose LeBaron Phelan. Nate Oates, I think, is one of the best coaches in the business, even though I hate Alabama. It could be a marble shooting contest. I'm going to root against Alabama. That sounds like JQ with Michigan.
Listen, badminton, synchronized swimming, all of it. I hope they lose all that. Table tennis, I hope they lose it, all of it.
Jaywalking across the street.
Listen, everything that you compete in, I hope they lose. Double Dutch, I want them to lose.
Yep. Speech and debate team.
All of it. I'm debating, man.
I love it. Any else to add to that, JQ, with this? And Gary, you were cracking me up whenever Rob was going over to Vukovic, all the vowels, man. I was like, yeah, that's happening right there.
Hey, man, Eastern Europe is a hotbed for basketball, man. I've been in that part of the world, and man, they love basketball, man. I was in Austria a couple of weeks ago, and all they talking about is Nikola Jokic.
yeah, sounds about right. Appreciate, Richard. There is something to say with maturity and everything. Like, I think that's in any part of your life, business, basketball, football. I mean, if you've gone through, that turn, you're, like you said, that's the challenge. Again, I'm going to keep beating that dead horse as far as, if you're a freshman, you may have the talent of the wazoo, but you're going to run to a veteran team. They're going to know, I've seen this before. You can out-jump me, but I'm still smarter than you. I've got more experience, basketball knowledge. That's what comes with. Anything else for transfer portal? Anything else for that or no?
Only thing I'll add about transfer portal, I mean, Kentucky had the highest, their most expensive roster this past season with $22 million, and they lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
So bad.
And they had the highest payroll of any college basketball team in the country. So I expect Kentucky, I expect Louisville, I expect Indiana, I expect North Carolina to come in and spend a lot of money. So those are 4 programs that's probably going to hit the portal extremely hard. And that point guard from Oregon, can't remember his name, but he's like a number 2 point guard in the transfer portal. Looks like he's going to Arizona, so that's going to be another big addition for Arizona too. But yeah, those are just some of the programs that I think are going to be spending a lot of money in the portal this year. The usual.
Was that Jackson's Seesaw, whatever? Is that his name? Is that your
name?
Yeah, Seesaw, whatever. Yeah, man. The last time I thought he was like scheduled to visit Louisville, but it sounds like if he's locking in at Arizona, that's gonna be nuts, man.
Looks like he's going to Arizona to replace Jaden Bradley.
Wow.
Well, what's this last comment that Richard said there? 5-year max and 1 transfer soon. Is that wishful thinking, or is that something that they're looking at?
If they, in my opinion, if they do that, then they're going to have to always leave a caveat for, if I go for a coach and he leaves within the first year or 2, that I get a second transfer. because the part of it is that it's not okay for you to just up and leave and get a buyout and go coach somewhere else after you recruited me. Then I'm stuck here when I came to play for you. People have to get over this. Hey, you're playing for the university. That's not always true. A lot of people go play for the coach, and the university is just second. So there has to be some checks and balances of if you want to limit our movement, you got to also limit coaches' movement or give us an out when they leave. We come to play for them in the first year. So, but there's going to be some.
Why is Trump getting involved in college sports?
Listen, because well, this is a topic for another day.
Let's not even talk about that dipshit.
Yeah. He knows.
Yeah.
But but the thing about it is these coaches are complaining about not, the tampering and not being able to keep somebody there and whatnot. So I mean, it was always going to get to some level of some regulation in this NIL era, but it still can't be till we get back to the point where coaches can move around as much as they do. But I come to play for you and you leave me in a year, then I'm stuck at this university and I really can't play for you. So
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, that's what I read.
No, listen, it's just like the Maurice Claret thing. You get one thing to sign up on, it gets appealed to the court, and it goes to Supreme Court. Like that's just the first salvo. It's not over yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to challenge that.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole conference is
pretty soon. We watch Sunday Night Football. These guys are going to be getting up there and saying 3 schools when they say
that's there was a lot
have
of
more
jokes
time to the
about
broadcast for everybody to see all the schools they went to.
But you know what's crazy? They do it now. So because I do the Vibe, right, which is the professional women's volleyball team, and now they're like, yeah, Louisville and Fresno, and then this, and you're like, damn. This should have been 3 separate schools, like when they do the announce the start.
Yeah.
It's that point now where they have like 2 or 3 schools they're announcing for these ladies.
There was a joke about that, like that I saw. Like he was like, Quincy Martin, Suffolk State University, Penn University. He had like 10 universities. And you're like, like it was like one of those skits, man. That's definitely where it's going. Mm-hmm. Hey, JQ, talk about the Big Ten, and we'll let you talk about some hires, Rob, and then we'll get to Gary about some stuff too as well, because I'm sure he wants to talk about that. But Big Ten is one of the big 3 so far. JQ, can you talk about that?
Yeah, man. And listen, they're spending the money, but the really big thing about it was the acquisition of those Pac-10 schools, right? You get the benefit of that by getting the UCLA and where that wouldn't have been a thing before. So it's that whole consolidation piece of it, and but yeah, they're going to force the ACC and the SEC to make some decisions, because as much as I'm going to bring that back. Me hate on Michigan. They might mess around and win the Frozen Four. So you're gonna give them basketball and hockey, and then you're gonna give the UCLA women's, and then give any out of the men's. It's like, whoa. If you don't think the ACC and the SEC are watching that very patiently and closely, like we know it's the SEC and the ACC. We gotta give up hockey. We're never gonna win that. So we just move that one to the side. But basketball and football, and back-to-back years now, it's 3 years in a row for football. So it's sometimes I feel like it's going to be more of that big bank take little bank. They said, "Oh, you would have took the Pac-12 or the Pac-12 and brought them in, so you get the benefit of them being now in your conference." I wonder about some of these Big 12 SEC ACC talks that we haven't heard about.
Yeah. And last year, the SEC did very well. Obviously, they won baseball. They won the men's championship in basketball. And they won several of the other, I think, softball and several of the other ones, too. Obviously, they didn't get football. They didn't get women's basketball last year. So, overall, they had a good year. But so far, man, you got to give the Big Ten a lot of credit. Look like you said, both the hockeys. I know Florida State won the women's soccer championship. I can't remember who won the men's soccer this year. And was it Cornell? No. That might have been lacrosse last year. But
that's definitely lacrosse.
Yeah. I know Florida State won the women's soccer this year. I can't remember who won the men's soccer championship. But yeah, overall, you got to give the Big Ten credit with Indiana, UCLA, Michigan. They're probably going to take both of the hockey titles. They're probably not going to win baseball, though. It looks like that's probably going to be an ACC or SEC thing.
Yeah.
And the same thing with softball. But overall, I mean, when you think about the revenue producing sports right now in college athletics is really football, men's basketball, and women's basketball, and to some degree college baseball. But yeah, those are the big revenue producing sports.
But the biggest, right, is football by
Oh
far.
yeah, by far.
Oh yeah.
And and the big dog right now is the Big Ten. They're
Mhm.
right
Yeah.
now. But I can see those two. I can see the Southeastern Conference, the Big Ten, kind of going back and forth with that. They both have marquee programs, get a lot of recruits, and I can see that just being one of those things that for the next
Yeah.
however many years, 20 years, them just keep going back and forth.
But in this NIL environment, it kind of levels the playing field, right, for a lot of these universities, right? It's a lot of these players going to want to go to the school. It's going to give them the best opportunity and the most money, right? It's not about playing in the South where they got good weather and things of that nature. They're going to listen to the Ohio States and the Michigans and the Oregons, right? And the Indianas. If you have the money, players going to go. I mean, we see AJ DeBanter, Jersey kid, going to BYU, man, $7 million. And right now, it's about who's going to give me the money.
Yeah.
And before this name, image, and likeness, you wouldn't have saw DeBanter going to BYU. And BYU is a school who's got a lot of money.
Kind of sad.
Crumble cookie.
The good thing about it is that money is sliding into the pockets of those kids on the field.
Yep.
For decades, I'm in favor of, because for decades it just slid to those universities and to wherever they wanted them.
Yeah.
And
these universities making a lot of money off of the players. So I agree with that. So I'm not arguing. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I know you're not. I know you're in favor of it.
It levels the playing field, and it's gonna some schools that have more money. I mean, they're in contention. I mean, Texas University's got a lot of oil money. And so you're talking about a school that all of a sudden would not be able to compete with the Texases and Oklahomas in the world, but now they can because they almost have just as much money. And when we say money, it's not necessarily the school; it's the donors.
The donors,
And we talk about the University of Indiana just winning the football championships. Correct me if I'm wrong. Indiana's got the largest alumni base of any school in the country.
And they also got Mark Cuban.
Yep. So
unfortunately,
there you have it. And
it was Washington that won the men's soccer tournament in 2025 in December. So Big Ten again.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Anything else to add, Gary, to that?
No.
No. All right. Rob, I'll let you have your moment here because it looks like North Carolina hires Mike Malone. We saw the blurb, $8.3 million, something crazy like that. And the Generals back at LSU, they hired Will Wade. Make your quick comments about that too, man. So Mike Malone's daughter was already I think she was playing volleyball at North Carolina. So that's pretty crazy as well too. So, that's a big bet. But, talk about that real quick.
Well, I mean, I have no doubts about Mike Malone as a basketball mind from a head coaching standpoint. So I think his coaching ability and knowledge of the game can give them alone an additional 5 extra wins. Now, I think what he's going to have to prove to me is can he recruit? Can he adjust to this college game? Which college game now is kind of like the pro game when you talk about managing the roster with salary and things of that nature. But it's it's recruiting like free agency right now.
Yeah.
Can he adapt to that college aspect of the game? That's what's going to have to be proven to me. Like I said, I have no doubts about his coaching ability. It seemed like the North Carolina family is gung-ho about him being the head coach. So I'm sure he's going to have to get some personnel around him. Look like he's going to keep Sean May on the staff.
Rick Stansbury's coming too.
So what?
I think Rick Stanberry's coming back too. They were saying as the associate.
No, Rick Stanberry going to LSU.
Is he? Oh,
yeah, he's going to be.
Malone. Yeah, my
he's
bad.
He's going to be one of Will
Malone.
Wade's assistants.
You're okay. I got you. You're on Malone. My bad. Keep going.
Yeah, but no, it looks like Mike Malone is going to keep Sean May as one of the assistants. So I think he's going to keep some. I'm sure he's going to bring a few of his own people, but it looked like he's going to keep some North Carolina ties on his coaching staff as well, which I think a good mix. But I definitely think it was time to go outside of the family. So, I mean, like I said, we'll have to see how this works. Do I think he's a better coach than John Shire at Duke? Yes. But can he recruit as well as John Shire? That's going to be the question, because John Shire can recruit his ass off.
He can.
Yeah, I mean, he's got another great recruiting class coming in on next season. Yeah, so that's going to be the question. And look, Will Wade, Neil stands for now it's legal.
That's good. That is
Nice.
So, he got to the trouble in the past.
Yeah,
But Neil stands for now it's legal. That's why Reggie Bush got his Heisman back, because now it's legal.
Wow.
And so LSU basketball has been horrible since Will Wade left. I mean, last year, not this year, but last year, there's 16 teams in the SEC, and 14 of them made the NCAA tournament. Guess who were the two teams that didn't make it? LSU and South Carolina. You got 14 teams make the tournament, and you're one of the ones that did not? I mean, that's pathetic. I mean, it was time to make a change at LSU. Arguably, we probably should have made the change last year. And I mean, he did a decent job when he was there before. I mean, we made to the Sweet 16 a couple of times when he was there. Obviously, he's got to, get us past that. And, LSU is going to be also a player in the portal, too. I think they gave him a budget of like $12 million this year for players. So we'll see how that works.
Well, recruiting isn't going to be like the old way of recruiting, when you're like,
It's not.
Okay, what am I getting? It's not rah, come here, we've got the traditions and, this sort of thing. It's pay me now and I'll come and play. So I don't think, I think North Carolina made a good hire there.
Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't talking any junk. Like I said, Malone's been super more successful. I just said, again, at least he's been worse. Because I was like, Sotomayor, like outside, I was like, oh man, that was a disaster, man, right there. Because that sometimes you just think the NBA name you're going to start getting it. He got some recruits, but you got to have coaching, man. So you got to have the ties. You got to be able to recruit, and it's a lot, man. So yeah, that was.
He's also a New York kind of guy too, right? I believe he's from like Brooklyn or Bronx or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So he's going to talk to those kids super real. I don't know how Huber was talking to him, but I don't think he was going to talk to him like how.
Yeah. And historically, under Dean Smith and Roy Williams, they recruited New York City.
New York heavy. Yes.
So I mean, they would get some big time players to come out of New York City to go to North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so I mean, you're going to need that market from a basketball perspective, from a recruiting perspective, right? So hopefully Mike Malone will have that aspect. He's 54 years old, so he's still young to where he could, if he's successful, he can go on a 20-year run possibly.
100%. Well, the first thing I would do, we can move on, is I would go talk to Michael and I would say, hey, bro, Jazz, if you just don't give us 10% of the money that you sell off the Jordan brand that's only for North Carolina products, North Carolina jerseys, sneakers, socks, T-shirts, we're not asking for all of it. But if you give us 10% and put it directly every year into the NIL, we would be a whole problem. Bro, that 10% is not going to hurt you. Why are we still having this conversation, Michael Jordan, Mr. North Carolina? Let's make
that doesn't make any sense. That's a good call, JQ. Like, I know there's creative ways how to make this work, but
you don't have to have it all.
Yeah.
All of the proceeds that come off of
that's crazy.
Those net proceeds, all North Carolina Jordan-based products.
Even 1% will make a huge difference.
It'll make, listen, millions of dollars.
Yeah,
people wouldn't even be able to compete with it.
Be careful, JQ.
That's how you got to compete.
You better get cut.
So that idea
supposedly he was heavily involved in this process. Yeah,
being heavily involved about trying to interview somebody is one thing, and heavily involved in giving that money.
Yeah.
I'm saying you better come up off of 5% of that money. You have a brand that, I'm not saying all of it, just the North Carolina pieces of it. Everything that comes in that North Carolina blue, with UNC on it, if you get them 5% of those proceeds and put it directly into the NIL, other teams I don't even think will be able to compete with that. because they don't have Jordan brands on their side. It's wild that nobody else has talked about this with him. If they have, he said no.
Michael Jordan Stadium.
What's they're gonna talk it up, and all it's gonna do is give you more free marketing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop talking about it because I want to do that shit.
Man, JQ, the problem is you're giving them ideas, man. You better get a cut of that, man. That's a great idea. Like that is a great idea. Like I know Adidas gives they
Belichick probably saying, "Give me some of that for the football program too."
Listen, he need to go talk to Lawrence Taylor. But for the basketball team, that's Jordan. Mike, I don't care about that football team.
Yeah, but it's still irrelevant though. No. That's where you're missing out, JQ. You can have basketball. Yeah, you make basketball and you can have football though. Don't close off, man. You literally Adidas has a couple. They had something deals with Penn State and Tennessee and Texas A&M and Washington and Texas Tech, Indiana. So Nike. My cousin works for Adidas, but it's still tough, man. You should put like a moat around that or make some cool ass shoes because the brand is too already strong with Nike. That's the tough.
But Adidas and Nike is different than the Jordan brand.
I hear what you're saying, JQ.
That's right.
I hear what you're saying.
That Jordan name is, man, it's just global.
I hear what you're saying. So is Jordan just going to be North Carolina? Is that it, or does he want to expand outside? That's the question.
Listen, if he want his alma mater,
he's already expanded outside.
He's already.
But what I'm saying, but you're known for North Carolina, so that's like what JQ said. You can have an exclusive North Carolina shoe brand, boom, just for North Carolina.
They already have that.
Right. Okay. They do have that. Okay, they do have that. Right. But what I'm trying to make sure is you're still trying to say there's still a couple more that he can do for that, right? Right? Go ahead.
I'm talking about the proceeds. So Cincinnati has the Jumpman contract. He's not going to give the University of Cincinnati 1% of all the revenue off of the sales off of University of Cincinnati Jumpman things of pullovers, polos, whatnot. But him being a North Carolina alum, he can say, you know what, I'm going to allow these other schools to have my brand, but for you, my school, for every dollar that we make off of this, I'm gonna give you 10 cents on that dollar to go straight to NIL.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. We're on the same page. Yeah.
Cincinnati, I would love it because that would put us in the game. He definitely ain't gonna do that.
I mean, I'm a business guy. I think and I know we're going way too on this topic. I just think of so if I'm giving you the Jumpman for North Carolina, you're gonna have a special Jumpman that's gonna be North Carolina stuff that's just for the Jumpman for North Carolina. Then if you want to have a Jumpman for Cincinnati, you're not getting the exclusive North Carolina.
Oh, well, yeah, he does that for them anyway. Like LeBron gives Ohio State.
Yeah.
You think for Ohio State, he's gonna give it.
So, but there's still but I don't know how much people are into that. We're that's our brand. We know about that, but again, there's so much more that I think is being left.
These kids know, especially when it comes to Jordan, they definitely know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, we got to get this moving here. Let's talk about a couple things here. Rob, mock draft is coming up. I know we're going to talk about that real quick. So do a quick thing on the mock draft. I know I want to get Gary's thoughts about a couple things, and Ohio State in the top 5. Go ahead, Rob.
We got a 6-round mock draft posted on the Talking Sports for the 12th Man Facebook page. So for those of you out there, go and check it out. Fernando Mendoza, number 1 in Vegas, says he's not going to attend the draft. He says he's going to spend it in Miami with his family. I think it's only the second time in recent memory the number 1 pick won't be at the draft live. Trevor Lawrence was the last one who did not attend.
Because he didn't want to go hang out in Pittsburgh.
Huh?
Because he didn't want to go hang out in Pittsburgh.
Is that because you hate Pittsburgh?
That's because he didn't want to go hang out in Pittsburgh. He said, "Why? Why can be in Miami? Pittsburgh draft
when
party."
When you're from Miami and you get ready to move to Las Vegas, why go to Pittsburgh, right?
Very good point.
Who wants to go to Pittsburgh? I've never been to Pittsburgh, so
listen, me neither. This is gonna be the last stadium I go visit. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh man, I got Arvell Reese going number 2 to the Jets. One of the best athletes in the draft, of course. I got Francis McGuire, offensive tackle, Miami, going to Arizona 3. I got David Bailey going to Tennessee, another edge rusher. Put him on that defensive line with Jeff Simmons. And then you got something. He's a smart dude, too. Graduated from Stanford in 3 years. That's not easy to do. He transferred to Texas Tech. Jeremiah Love to the Giants. Man, that's going to be You put him in the backfield with Scatterboo, and hopefully you get the kid from LSU back at the wide receiver position to go with Jackson Dart. And the Giants could be a sleeper to get to the playoffs on next season. I got Sonny Styles, linebacker from Ohio State, going to Cleveland at 6. I got Cornell Tate going to Washington. Obviously, Debo Samuel, as we've already talked about, is about a couple of biscuits away from being a defensive tackle. They need another weapon to pair with McLaughlin, that wide receiver. So you give Cornell Tate, man, that's going to be a big-time addition for Jaden Daniels. I still think he's going to either go 6 or 7. In this mock, I got him going 7. I got the Saints going Reuben Bain Jr. Look, I've talked about him being similar to Will Smith, and the irony here of going to the Saints. Even if Cam Jordan comes back, you got to think about replacing Cam Jordan at some point in that rotation as from an edge rusher standpoint. I got Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle from Georgia, going number 9 at Kansas City. And I got Mansour Delane, cornerback from LSU, going to Cincinnati at number 10. He had a phenomenal pro day. And I think he may even be in range. He's going as high as number 8, possibly too. But I can have him going number 10 in this mock. For the Cowboys, I've been drafting in the first round pretty much all defensive players. A slight surprise in this mock, I got the Cowboys going Mekhi Lemon at number 12. I know there's some concern about whether or not they're going to be able to lock up George Pickens long term. And the Cowboys, it's kind of twofold. They're a little concerned if they're going to be able to lock them up long term. And the Cowboys want some more depth at the wide receiver position. So I got them going Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver. Man, if they have him, Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb, whew, man, look out. And then I got them going Caleb Banks, defensive tackle from Florida at number 20. And the Steelers, I got them going Caden Proctor, offensive tackle from Alabama. He can play tackle or guard, very versatile offensive lineman. I have the Steelers going with him at 21. I can talk about the other rounds if you want, if y'all have questions about it.
Where'd you have Caleb Downs going again?
Number 11.
To the Miami?
Miami, yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that'd be interesting if they would take Caleb Downs and not take Mekhi Lemon if Taylor's already gone, because they ain't got nobody to catch the ball from Malik Willis.
Who, Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to need some help there for sure.
Serious help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the second time too. Appreciate you putting the mock together. Check out the page. Talking Sports 12 man 6 round mock there too. Rob will dive a little deeper too. Again, we'll see how much time we got. Maybe we'll go a little 30 minutes after here. I do want to talk a little bit more about. I know this is kind of going off script a little bit, but I wanted to get everyone's thoughts about. We were talking about we're kind of burying the like a dead horse, beating like a dead horse, excuse me. But Gino and Don, that skirmish has been going on, and they both try to close the chapter. Excuse me. I think it's kind of bullshit, but from Gino, because you're like, because man, come on, man, So they've spoken privately to bury the hatchet, but Gino, man, you gotta come get your whooping, man. You gotta take all the heat, man. Take all the smoke from all the shit that you did, man, because that was uncalled for. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean that was despicable, man. It showed a lot of lack of class on Gino's part, and I hate to say this, but it seems as though as long as if he's on top and beating her, that wouldn't have been an issue. But it just seemed like he had a big time issue with losing to Dawn Staley. Believe it or not, he's 1-3 against Dawn Staley. So the only time he beat her was in the national championship game on last season. And they coached together on the 2016 Olympic team, right? Dawn was one of his assistants in Rio, right? And it just did not portray a good level of sportsmanship. And the way it seems is that he could not handle losing to her, which was totally unacceptable. And I know I'm being very politically correct for the most part. But it was definitely totally unacceptable for sure.
Listen, it's a whole problem in UConn, period. Because Hurley's crazy ass is the same level of dick that Gino Ariama's ass is. And he had the same problem with Pat Summitt. And it was well documented. Candace Parker still don't mess with Gino Ariama because of the way he dealt with Pat Summitt. To this day, she said, I could be professional. When I have to go talk to him, but he know where it is personally. That I don't mess with him, and he don't mess with me. You can replace the N word with the F word. So yeah, Gino's got some issues, bro. But it's to me, it's systemic at UConn with their basketball programs because Hurley's a really good coach too. Gino's a really good coach. They're both jackasses.
Yep.
And unlikable.
Yep. I thought Hurley behaved well last night. I thought,
he had to because he headbutted the ref. You can't come back and be a fool again in the next game. You got to be cool. So he didn't have no choice. So I'm not gonna give him credit for not having no choice. You can't double down and be an asshole again. So I you know what? I will give him at least enough credit that he had to be cognizant that he couldn't come out there and show his whole entire ass again. But if he hadn't headbutted that ref in that game, he might have showed out too last night. And you know it.
Well, maybe. I'll tell you what, Gino, you're real gracious when you're winning. But the real grace is when your team goes out there and they played as hard as they could for you, and your team came up short, and then you act like a complete freaking idiot.
No, say what you was gonna say.
Yeah, you gonna say ass.
Yes,
you gonna say ass.
Dick. All right, jackass. You was gonna say it and you censored yourself. Say it with your chest.
So, but let me ask this question, JQ. So, even whenever Ohio State and Michigan play, are they shaking hands afterwards, or the coaches?
He did. He told me to get your players off the field so it won't be no problem. They at least Woody Hayes, the 10-year war, they still shook hands.
That's fair.
There's some level of respect there, but
yeah,
you don't show out like that. You just don't show out.
I'm just asking the question.
You look at North Carolina and Duke and that rivalry, man. Coach K and Dean Smith, Coach K and Roy Williams, they all, they wanted to beat each other, but they always showed a level of respect to one another, right? And obviously that's what sports are about. It's about, hey, we want to beat each other, but Andre and I are Saints and Falcons fans, respectively, but I watch those games all the time. Those players want to beat each other, but they all hugging and almost kissing each other after the game.
It's just crazy to me. Crazy to me.
Yeah. I don't dig that part of it anymore.
Me neither.
I can see. Sportsmanship. I'm all about sportsmanship. If you lose and you give it your all, go out there. And take your loss like a man. Go out there and shake their hands and say, "Hey, great job." Walk off. Mm-hmm. Keep it to yourself. Keep it within your organization. That didn't set well with me when you're in the locker room. So next year, this is what we're going to feed on. That's what teams that I was always on. That's what we were taught.
The word is called decorum.
Yeah,
there it is. Yep.
To not have that. And I remember even like in Little League and stuff, there were times we had this one team that was just we were such rivals for the city, and it was the same thing, and we got beat. We got beat 3-2, and in Little League. 3-2, man, that's uncalled for. That's unheard of. Most teams, if you got a good team, you're scoring 16, 17 runs and the other team scoring 6 or 7 on you or whatever, But we were so close. And when we lost, we were all just standing and my dad says, "Hey, shake their hands. They beat us. Mm-hmm. Shake their hands. That's what we do, And that was really my first experience of being in that situation, and after it happened, I felt better about it.
Yeah,
like losing, but I knew I did the right thing, and this was just as a little kid.
The disappointing thing about the Gino Dawn situation, after the game, it was all about their interaction.
What about the players?
It took all of the focus from how well South Carolina played in that game.
Yeah.
All the talk was about, what Gino did, and it just took all the focus. Almost like that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Just
Thinking
take
about
the
him.
focus away from how well South Carolina played in that game.
Yep.
And then, and all the focus is about how he just acted an ass. And then he pulled the Detroit Pistons and walked off the court before the game was even over.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous.
Well, Richard brought up a couple of schools. Our school, David Douglas and Park Rose, they were just arch rivals. And there were times against Park Rose where they didn't handle stuff the right way. And they didn't shake our hands at different things.
Mm-hmm.
And the level of hatred was there. But we were always taught, no matter what sports we were in, that, you go out and shake their hand. But I do specifically remember several times when the Park Rose players pulled a Detroit Piston type of a move and just walked off,
There can be hate but respect, though. That's the thing. There's got to be a balance within there. As long as there's certain things I hate, but still, that's kind of how you compare yourself. Like if this is, rivals are kind of built because either you're effing so good that you hate that squad, and that's what you're trying to ascribe to. You want to whip their ass because, man, this is who's always kicking your ass. But that's how, it's a character building thing too, right? After you kind of knock that person out, you're like, I'm the man, right?
You can benefit. It's harder lesson, but you can benefit from losing. Absolutely. You can use that as motivation.
You learn more in losing. You learn more in losing than winning, though. That is the true statement. So it kind of tells you where you are. Like if you cheating aside, at one point everyone was like the Patriots. We're like, that was a team to beat. Like, all right, cheating aside, right? So then now, like, how do we cheat like them? How do we get like them, right, or whatever? So you always have a school to kind of like compare yourself to get better at, So even the playing field. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
I think Gino sure. I mean, I know we keep pondering on this, but it was poor leadership on his part too, right?
Yeah.
Because his players and his assistant coaches behaved better than he did.
Yeah. Some people are sore losers.
Some
people are sore losers. Yeah.
The entire team and the assistant coaches went over and congratulated South Carolina. He walked off the court.
Yeah.
And so to me, he showed very poor leadership in that situation. And that was awful. And I, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. But I hope players reconsider going to UConn to play for Gino.
Be careful. Woo! There you go. Cubs fans root. All right. Jake, you want to talk about the Tennessee thing, and then we'll talk about some last little updates here when it comes to some trades here that happened, and we'll also get to your stuff to the Yankees. But yeah, that's crazy what happened with Tennessee, man. I know, huge Pat Summitt fan, right? And to see the way the program has just been run to the ground, it's pretty disappointing.
Mika Holzfall, Candace Parker, Tamika Catchings. Like, I was a Pat Summitt fan. Carol Lawson right now coaching Duke. Unfortunately, she's coaching Duke, but Carol Lawson too. To get to the point where you have alienated them so bad, like
Danny White did that.
It's a lose-lose because you can't say, "Hey, we had a whole bunch of bad girls," because you know who recruited those bad girls? You. So if you brought them in, then that was on you for bringing them in. But then if you was trying to give them tough love, whatever she said, she did. I've never ever seen a school with the history that they have, especially in basketball, to be in April and have one person on the roster. One. And that means that chick right there is probably at the end of the bench and can't go nowhere else. So she's right straight out. You know what I mean? Because listen, if you're the only person left in the room, that means you ain't got nowhere else to go. So let's just call a spade a spade. I don't know her like that, but I'm reading tea leaves. If everybody else has somewhere else to go, and this is the portal has somewhere else to go, and you don't, that means that you are like the equipment manager or the senior manager. You just own the team because, hey man, I'm here. My daddy went to UT, so I'm going to UT, and I'm 5'7" and I can't dribble. Like, come on, man.
You're the you're the Thanasis Nancy-Kupo of the.
Yes, you are. On the team for no reason at all. That's almost we can't win no games. Yeah, because you suck. But
You're just a
anyway,
waste of a
that's
roster spot.
That threw a pass the other night to nobody. I'm like, why is he in the game?
How's this
Nobody
dude
for 5 or
how's this
6
dude get
years.
paid, man? Be lucky none of us have that situation on our squad. They're
This
like,
is why that's the conversation about Giannis for another day, because you can't be serious about winning when you got your two brothers who would never be on another team outside of the Milwaukee Bucks. Regardless, anyway, it's really sad as a Pat Summitt fan to watch that descend into the chaos of what is happening. I have no idea how much money. I didn't get a chance to look it up. How much money they're averaging or willing to spend in NIL for the Lady Balls team, but to be down to one lady in April is incredible.
Rumor has it that they're prepared to spend in both men and women's basketball in the transfer portal. So we'll see. Mm-hmm.
But they have some things that was good on that team that left to go to greener pasture. So my thing is also that there's something systemic in the infrastructure where they don't want to be there, because if you come out and say we're willing to spend, and she said that sounds great, but you ain't gonna spend it on me, deuces, I holler.
We out.
We out of here.
I just want to. I'll let you get your topic in, Gary, because we're gonna try to get this wrapped up about 15 minutes or so. Huge move. We're gonna talk about the Angel Reese trade. Bayou Barbie's coming to the ATL here. I do want to stress everything that I found out. Like, she did not request a trade, anything like that, but the writing was on the wall because that infamous interview, how she was talking about the ownership and what happened, and it's kind of tough to come back with your teammates whenever she said she wanted to play with higher talent and little things that happened, and just we saw the interview. This is a great move, obviously for the I was going to call it Hawks for the Atlanta Dream. Obviously we've got Ryan Howard, we got Brittany Reiner, we've got Ice Spray, we got a lot of talent, and Carl Smeska came in. It was just a good.
They
move.
were good last year.
They were good. Yeah, we had the first, made the playoffs. Carl Smeska, he's a great coach, man. He believes in shooting threes and getting layups. So.
Why don't call him great? Because there's no reason you lose to the Fever when they don't have Caitlin Clark. That's a bad playoff loss.
They did not. I chalk it up, JQ, to a little bit of like, we were just happy to be here. Like, come on, man. That was kind of how they.
You call him a great coach. I'm gonna say, man, listen, I ain't gonna call him a great coach. When you lose to the Fever with Caitlin Clark, I got you. But you can't lose to the Fever with the man. They had like 3 or 4 chicks that were gone. Like ladies.
I was shocked that I thought Atlanta was gonna win that series too.
Because they should have.
Without Caitlin Clark. But no, when you look at the Dream roster, though, you got to put them right up there for being a contending team. I know you got to deal with the Las Vegas Aces, the New York Liberty. If they're healthy, they're going to be tough. And then if you got Caitlin Clark healthy, you got to think the Atlanta Dream is going to be at least a top 4 team with a possible chance, if some things work in their favor and they stay healthy, of having a chance to compete for a championship this year with that roster for sure. They're as talented as any team in the league.
Yeah, you talk about Minnesota.
So you guys think that she's the difference maker?
Yeah.
No, I don't think she has to be a difference maker. I think she's going to a good enough team to where she can just go play that role, and she excels in that role.
Yeah.
And she helps move the needle. The problem with Chicago, they drafted her and Cardoza, and they're the same player.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? There's not enough space for them. Neither one of them has a polished game. In terms of offensively, they can play some defense. They're going to rebound, but neither one can really put the ball in the hoop until like have a go-to move and then a counter move off of that one. If you take away that move, neither one of them have that, and they drafted like back to back in that year.
It makes sense.
Yeah, what are you doing?
But she's two-time All-Star though. That's the crazy part too. That they gave up on her. That's the crazy part. Like you're like,
well,
man.
You said the writing was on the wall, but if you go a deeper dive onto the Chicago. Do you realize that they don't have their own? I think this year they'll finally have their own practice facility. They have them practicing in like the Y or like a rec league with just regular chicks in there coming into the locker room with them and practicing.
Come on, Chicago Bulls, man, let the girls practice in y'all practice facility.
Look it up.
Even the players were talking about. They're like, man, what the hell's happening? What the hell's going on here? Yeah,
they had them at a rec league center practicing and showering in the locker room with chicks that was just off the street. Martha and them coming in there, I do Pilates, taking a shower with them.
They're playing the YMCA. You're like, what? I was like, what? That was crazy. Like, you could have went in there. Hey man, what you doing?
I'm just gonna come in here and practice to the sky.
This is a professional team. I was like, oh man, That shit was crazy.
That's real.
That was crazy, man. I was like,
It's a real thing.
yeah. Well, the Chicago Sky got a lot
Well,
of
you
other.
say she doesn't have much of a. Refresh my memory, JQ. Did you say she doesn't have much of a low post game or doesn't have much moves?
She doesn't really have a go-to move. I know that Lisa Leslie has been working with her to try to get her to develop her low post game. But to Rob's point, she's got a really good backcourt. She's got a Hall of Famer, really, in Brittany Griner to play center. If you tell her to come in there and rebound, play hard-nosed defense, and give me energy, and then you get your points off of putbacks and not a lot of dunks, but you know what I mean. Like I drive and dish it to you. We're not really running a whole lot of plays for you. But if you play your part in this team, she doesn't have to go out there where she's initiating the offense. She's got ball handlers in that backcourt to do that for her.
Well, Gray and Ryan Howard there, she won't have to.
She doesn't have
to. Ryan Howard.
Because she's
Ryan Howard
she was averaging.
MVP
I was looking
candidate.
at the averages, and she was averaging 14 and a half points a game and almost 13 rebounds. So
she's a walking double-double. And that's what you're gonna want from her. She's a walking double-double, right? And she's gonna, to JQ's point, she's gonna get offensive rebounds and putbacks and things of that nature. So she's gonna get you extra possessions because of what she does from an offensive rebounding standpoint, and she's gonna get you extra possessions for what she does on the defensive end too, right?
Right.
She's a good defensive player. She'll block shots. She'll get steals.
So you're thinking that she's because with her current team, what she do? She got rebound, put it up, missed it, got a rebound, put it up, missed it, whatever.
Moses
Do
Malone.
you think in this case she's gonna get the rebound and now
put it back up?
She's gonna pass it out to somebody else?
She has options now. They have options
she has options now because the Sky didn't have anything but her and Cardoza, and that's because they doubled down on the same player. So kick it out to who? Now she has the option to kick it out to her, and I think playing on the USA team here this summer is really going to help her a lot moving going forward to go play with the dream of I don't have to put it up and take these contested putbacks if they're not there. I can kick it out. I've got 2 All-Stars in my backcourt. So
they were a young team too because we've got a player named Naz Hillman that's already been in the league for a minute, so she's kind of like she's a veteran, so she can kind of follow her. And then whenever I'm out in the game now, I'm going right to back into I can kind of copy my game after her, but then she can rebound like you said, Gary. Kick it out. You got Ryan Howard out there. You got Aisha Gray out there. You got Cannon out there.
But I traded 2 first-round picks for her. She's starting. I'm coming.
What I mean, she's a veteran though. She's better.
Okay, that's what I was like. Oh, that chick lost her job. No. That trade.
She's starting, and Andrews is starting, but Naz Hillman was already better in the league, so she's kind of similar to her. But she's like, hey, she's going to start, but she's like, I've been in the league for a minute. I know how to play and stuff like that. That's what I was talking about. So
you're wanting her. So you got a team that is going to benefit her if she plays a certain role, correct?
Yep.
So you paid 2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks, 2027, and a pick. No, for Angel. No. What are we talking about?
She's a 2-time All-Star.
She's a 2-time All-Star. That's what I said.
I know, but I mean, really, that's what you're wanting her to do. Is a rebound and get the ball out to somebody else or whatever.
She's averaging, like she said, she's a walking double-double. So she can get.
So let me ask you this, because I see where you're going with that, Gary. If you were the Bulls coming back in the day, you can get Dennis Rodman, you're gonna run no plays for him, but he's gonna play defense, he's gonna rebound, and he's gonna be an energizer bunny for you. Is he not worth those 2 first-round picks for what he did for those Bulls teams and what he did for those Pistons teams?
And that's where you're putting her, like the Dennis Rodman of the WNBA.
For her on that team, that's what she's gonna have to do. That's what they're expecting her to do.
And she will be even a bigger scoring option than Dennis Rodman was for the Bulls. I mean, she won't be the first scoring option, as JQ already alluded to, but she will be more of a scoring option for putbacks. And she's got a decent low post game. She's got some opportunities to improve there, right? But she's going to be a walking double-double. Dennis Rodman wasn't even a double-double guy. Dennis Rodman was more like a 5 points and 20 rebounds kind of guy. But he would annoy the hell out of you on the defensive end. And he would be able to guard the other team's best player or second best player or their best post player and take them out of the game. And so Angel Reese is going to do a lot of things for you. She's going to get you extra possessions, whether it's from offensive rebounds.
You call it intangibles.
She's going to box out on the defensive end and get defensive rebounds, and she's going to get extra possessions on the defensive end too. You look at the OKC Thunder, right? One of the things that makes them successful is because of what Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren does. Both of those guys give. I mean, they may not be 30-point scorers, but man, the amount of extra possessions that they give OKC on a nightly basis, it's almost like 10 to 20 extra possessions that those two guys alone, when they're healthy, give OKC.
I give it
that's a game
Alex
changer.
Caruso
It's hard
too.
to beat a team when you got somebody on those teams that's giving you extra possessions.
I'll give it Alex Caruso too. He's the same type of player. He's a kind of good player too. So you got a player that can just do different kind. I'm not comparing them like that.
Listen, I get where you're coming from, Gary. She's not Paige Becker. She's not Caitlin Clark. But giving up those 2 first rounds for the team she's going to, if you keep that team intact, you're thinking those picks are coming in the late first round anyway. This isn't football, right?
Yep.
Where you're getting multiple, 1 through 7 rounds. In basketball, a lot of those picks that you get in the later part of the first round is a very low success rate in terms of those dudes panning out. So if I'm gonna give you like 2 first rounds, if we're gonna suck and they end up being second and third, that's a horrible trade. But if we're picking, I don't know how many teams are in the WNBA currently, but if we're picking in the latter part of the first round because I've added her to my team and we're advancing, further in the playoffs and we're a good team, is that player that we would have gotten these next 2 years, either one going to really make the team, because they draft chicks. I don't know if you understand. I got to stop calling chicks ladies. They draft ladies a lot of times right now with the roster size limitations. They'll draft in the first round and they get waived.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
First round picks get waived, and I saw it was like, oh my god, did she go in the first round? Well, it was late first round, and she didn't even make the team.
Yeah.
So you also got to take that in consideration with these first round picks in the WNBA.
I didn't know that. So,
but it's a good swap. But it is.
I got a little bit of information from each one of you guys because I don't watch a lot of WNBA. Mm-hmm. I watch highlights here and there. That's about it. But that's not analyzing games like you do when we're watching our teams and in basketball, baseball, football, like we do.
And I'll make another. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just going to say I'll make another quick point here. And I don't know if this is going to turn into a championship for the Atlanta Dream, but I think it definitely puts them in the conversation for possibly winning a championship. And sometimes you have to make a move that you're going to overpay for to put you in a position to win a championship. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Hey, look, we saw the Rams give up a farm a few years ago, and they wound up winning the Super Bowl. We saw the Milwaukee Bucks overpay Chris Middleton, and they won the NBA championship, right? And so this is one of those moves that even if on paper they maybe slightly overpaid for it, it could still possibly turn into a championship. And, you look at what the Rams did this past offseason, giving up a lot of draft picks to get the cornerback from the Chiefs, right? I mean, the Rams feel like they were in the NFC championship game, and they feel like they might be a piece or two away to win another title. And if I'm making a prediction going into next season, I got the Rams going to the Super Bowl, right? And so you can make a case that this could be a move to get the Atlanta Dreams into the WNBA Finals and have a shot to win a championship. So even if it is a slight overpay, sometimes if you feel like you're close, you got to take that risk.
Well, sure.
And it was a pick swap for the 2028 pick. So by the way, so we gave up a 2027. And then 2028, we're actually swapping picks with the Chicago Sky. So that's actually an advantageous move for us, if you will, too. So whatever that pick happens, it's definitely a gamble, but you're gambling getting a solid player. As Jake, you said, you don't really know what you're getting. But now I'm pushing my chips, and I know what Angel Reese is already. So I'm okay with that move at this juncture. 2-time All-Star already. Let's go. So,
I think it's a good move.
Great move.
I sent it right away saying that puts them in a possible championship conversation.
Yeah, I remember I was doing trivia and I'm like, what? And I'm like tripping out, like, man, I'm watching all the. So now we're more interested in Atlantic. So you're like, she wanted to come here. Like, oh, that's good to know because sometimes we don't get the love people want to come here. So she worked with the Chicago Sky, made it work, and it's a good roster, man. So everything you talked about. I know we're wrapping this up, man. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we kind of move? I kind of hijacked that segment because I was pretty excited about that. But anything else you guys want to pick a topic and kind of run with that? would be fantastic, if you will. Did you guys see the brawl between the Braves and the Angels? Did you see that? The brawl?
No, I just got alerted about it.
Oh my God, man! Oh, former players.
I was watching
it,
and
messed up.
then I was running back here. I got the alert on my phone, but I was trying to get on and get her outside, so I was gonna watch it here in a minute.
Okay, that's crazy. Soler and Lopez got into a bar. They were like ex-teammates, man. Come on, man.
Listen, you know what that's about? It's about a woman.
You probably
is that the Jim Jackson, Jason Kidd stuff with Tony Braxton?
Oh my! Not with Tony Braxton. Not with Tony Braxton. Come on, man.
Either they was gambling on the plane and he ain't paid him his money, or the chick they both liked. He was like, "Bro, you know that was my chick that was foul," and they got into it. It was either a woman or money. There's no chance y'all ex-teammates y'all just start fighting like that over just baseball. I'm a non-believer.
Yeah, there you go.
That's hilarious. Okay.
And Dallas Mavericks thought they had something back in the day, man.
Triple J. Mashburn Jackson, and who was the third?
Jason Kidd.
Kidd. Yeah, that's right. Triple J. I remember that. And Tony Braxton messed all that up.
She said your love is making me high. Anyway, go ahead, man.
She was like, I'm gonna make the best. She was making them compete. What are you doing for me? Damn it. What are you doing for me?
Man, that broke up that whole team. Tony Braxton broke up that whole team.
Man. That was terrible.
Destroyed any chance.
Triple J, what person? I'm sorry, ladies, but come on, man. Oh man. They could not get along after that, man.
Thanks.
Triple J destroyed.
Damn, Tony.
Oh man, Dallas still upset about that.
Can't get right.
What are we talking about here? Anything else we're going to talk about? Pick your topic, and we'll wrap this up.
Hey, JQ would love this. For the Bengals' second round pick, I got him taking T.J. Parker from Clemson, edge rusher.
See,
he loves his Clemson guys.
He just does that to get me riled. That's rage bait. That's what the kids call it. They call it
that
rage
guy
bait.
was considered a first round pick at one point. You get him in the second round, man. That'd be a steal.
I don't want nobody on the defensive side of the ball from Clemson.
Nobody.
Listen,
nobody,
baby, nobody. Nobody.
Brian,
actually was an anomaly, JQ.
Hey, I want you guys top 5 on the Major League Baseball teams right now. Who's your top 5s?
It's too early.
I got the Dodgers number 1
Dylon.
I got the Dodgers 1. The Brewers, I thought they were going to fall off this year, but 8-2 so far. So 8. I got them number 2.
Brewers are tied. Yeah.
Yankees have them at number 3. I got the Reds at 4. I had a tough time with number 5. But Jose Ramirez off to a good start for the Cleveland Guardians, so I got them at number 5.
I hadn't even looked at it. It's so early. I don't know.
I had the Dodgers. Of course, I'm a Yankee fan, so I put the Yankees in there. Cleveland, Milwaukee, and the Reds.
So the same 5, just different orders.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Man, it's a short season, but already most of the teams played 10 games.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the end of the season, I'll have the Yankees down there about 12.
No, man. Come on.
Damn.
Is that why you wear your Nationals jersey? You turning on the Yankees?
I'm disgusted with the Yankees. This is great this time of year. Then when Jed can't get that bat off of his shoulders, it's playoff time.
He's
You're the go-to guy.
It's something mental there, man.
He's not clutch, and then you trade Soto, and then he's clutch.
Mm-hmm.
He's also out with a calf injury though for the Mets, so he's gonna miss a little time. Yeah, he's lost at the plate right now. You can see it in the World Baseball Classic. He's lost. Like, it comes and goes for baseball players. Right now, he's completely lost. If you play the Yankees, you want to play him right now with him like that. Well, you can't say that. Mofos is 8-2. So,
yeah, well, they're getting really good pitching right now. Cam Slitter, his ERA was 0.00 so far.
Yeah.
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 I think he was pitching tonight. I haven't looked at the results of the game.
I know they won.
They played the A's tonight, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won
His
5-3.
ERA was first two starts was 0.00.
Yeah, they won. They won 5-3.
Did you want to say anything about Harbaugh's talking about he's excited about this for the Chargers about Mike McDaniel and how he's going to open up the offense for Justin Herbert.
I think he's going to, but I think you got to go heavy and get you some wide receivers that you can rely on. I don't give a damn.
McConkey. You got Ladd McConkey.
Okay. I'm a double team lad, and I watch Quincy
They
Johnson.
do need another weapon on the perimeter.
They do another weapon.
They need two.
Hey, offensive lineman is a weapon.
Allen is like
he said the offensive
old.
lineman is a weapon, Rob. Come on, man.
And that's why he had to go get Mike McDonald's ass, because the offensive line, in fact, is not a weapon, especially when they all get hurt. That's really the first thing. They lost both their tackles.
They did.
If we're being honest, they lost both their tackles.
They did.
But you can't listen. Quentin is who he is at this point. We're asking him to morph and be the guy that you really rely on the outside like that. It's not what it is. I like Ladd, despite him being a bulldog, but they need.
He's a good receiver.
He is, but they need another.
He needs help.
He's small. They need another.
Who's Quentin?
Wide receiver on the outside.
I got him taking Jordan Tyson at 22 in the first round.
That's a good look. Oh,
you think Jordan Tyson falls that far?
I think there's a possibility with his medicals.
Okay. Well, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Yeah,
he may not fall that far, but I think it's a possibility.
Yeah,
that's a good look.
But I have him going to the Chargers at 22, and I mean, if he's healthy, he's arguably one of the best receivers in this draft.
That's the big if, though.
Yeah, but he's have some injury concerns there.
You know how JQ loves Iowa State receivers.
Listen, I'll never understand. I'll never understand Houston for that. I'll never understand Houston for that. When they did it, I said, "Wait, what? Who doubles down on Iowa State receivers?" Okay. I think that for him, I think it really matters what happens with Carnell Tate early in terms of his 40 time. The farther Carnell Tate falls, I think the more it pushes Jordan Tyson potentially back as they take other positions. If Carnell Tate goes and then it starts to be we gotta go get our wide receiver, then I don't know if Tyson falls that far out.
I don't think Tate's going to fall. I know he had that 4.54 40, but I just think he's polished as a receiver. And I know you watched him even a lot more than I have, through his career. But from a route running standpoint, the way he catches the football, he's just a very polished receiver. And so I don't think the 40 time is going to – I mean, I have him going number 7 right now. And look, I can even make a case that even if he's on the board when the Saints pick at 8, they probably would take him too. And I don't see him falling out of the top 10 for sure. Carnell Tate. I mean, I just think he's polished. He's been proven to stay healthy as well. Looks like he did a really good job in the interview room, both at the pro day and combine, and on his not station visits. Sound like I'm at work. His team visits.
Rob, sometimes guys like that, you can get a 40 time or whatever, and
look at Anquan Bolden. He ran a 4.55, and he followed the second round, but man, the way he uses his body and catches the football. But I'm not saying Carnell Tate is the Anquan Bolden type, but I think Carnell Tate, the way he catches the football, the way he route runs, he's a cerebral player. Been in a pro style offense. I think I still think he's going to be the first receiver taken in the draft.
We're wrapping this up.
Unless something comes out in the next couple of weeks. But
he's a really good dude.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to wrap this up. I saw 2 things that I thought were interesting when I was looking at this. I saw that Ty Simpson, we're talking about quarterbacks here, was actually predicted to – they said the Jets – I think we talked about this last week a little bit. The Jets were interested in him. I saw a report that Nussmeier, Rob, is linked to the Cardinals and that Carson Beck was linked to the Packers. These are some little interesting little tidbits that I saw. And I was like, what?
Watch the Steelers in the 3rd round. I could see the Steelers picking a quarterback in the 3rd round, either a Carson Beck or a Garrett Nussmeier.
I can't wait. I hope they do.
That's what I was reading. I was interested. I saw some comments, and I was like, I think we talked about Ty and going back even to the Jets, even a little later on, making a move like that too, because Aaron Glenn must be smoking something talking about Gino is the guy, but a whole other conversation. But yeah, anyway.
Not just Gino's the guy. Gino's gonna take him to the promised land.
Yeah, promised land. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, yeah, all right, well, hey, that's a lot of belief. Hey,
well,
man,
if you don't believe, why you in the business, right?
You got to sell that. You got to sell it, JQ.
Least, right?
You can take it as a promise.
Everybody
showing confidence in that dude. He's like, I got you, man.
There are some things to be said for keeping that shit inside. You can believe it internally. Man. You don't have to say it externally.
Yeah. But yeah, you look at the quarterback position. I think Nussmeier and Carson Beck is going to go in the third round. I think Drew Allar, I got him going in the fourth. And then after that, you got Cole Payton and the kid from Arkansas.
Taylor Green, is that him?
Yeah.
If they was going to tell you to play tight end and stop playing.
Anthony Richardson did him no favors, man, because that was not a good look, man.
Listen, you know who they are? Terrell Pryor.
There it is. Oh man, not pulling that out. Yeah,
they are. Terrell Pryor.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I remember that. That's a good pair. There's no more slashes in the world, man. That's kind of disappointing, man. So the slash players are no longer. Rob, let's wrap this up, man. It's been a awesome episode of Talking Sports. Unless Gary, you want to do anything fun, my guy? Anything you want to wrap this up, Gary, or not? You good?
We're good.
Blazers. Go Blazers.
Hey, interesting you reached the Blazers, man. I saw this clip about the jail Blazers and how interesting their practices used to be. Did you see that, JQ?
No, but I saw that original one. I want to watch that. The Jailblazers were crazy. I'm definitely going to watch that.
Yeah.
They had
I saw an interview with Damon Stoudemire, Rasheed Wallace,
and
Bonzi Wells.
Wells.
Yeah.
They had my homeboy. They had Ruben Patterson. UC Bearcat, baby.
Ruben Patterson is crazy,
man. They got pulled over. They got pulled over on the way from Seattle down there.
Hold on. Didn't Isaiah Ryder play for the Blazers back in the day?
Yes.
He did.
Isaiah Ryder was crazy. That dude was crazy. Hey, man, meet me, breathe this bag of weed behind the...
Man. Thank you, Richard and Marcy. Appreciate the love on the good show.
Yeah.
Hey, next week, we all agree Monday night's good?
Monday night. Same time.
All right, we'll be on Monday night next week. We'll be 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those in Atlanta and Florida. Hey, from my family and friends down in New Orleans, it's going to be 10 Central. For JQ's family and friends in his favorite city, Fresno, it's going to be 8 p.m. to Jackson, Mississippi, or the West Coast. Dial in on next week. Hey, we're going to have a lot to talk about. We'll be getting a lot closer to the draft, of course.
18 days.
NBA playoffs, play-in, NHL playoffs. So we'll have a lot to talk about here on next week. So tune in Monday night edition, baby. No Monday night football, so tune in our show on Monday night. Y'all have a good one.
It's going to be fun.
Monday night, baby. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Take care of the pup, JQ.